My style is we plan for the worst and we hope for the best. My power agents will tell you, who are with me for the past couple of years, that during the lawsuit settlement with NAR and Catchmark, a lot of my colleagues, I think I was the only one that was saying at the very beginning of it, saying we got to plan for the worst case scenario, because everybody else was telling agents, don't worry about it, business as usual, nothing's been decided, yada, yada. And a lot of agents that sat back waiting, when the settlement happened, they were taken off guard and they're like, oh, what do I do? What's this buyer agency form and all this other stuff? So I'm going to encourage you to just assume that the worst is going to happen, so that way you are prepared. You're prepared, and if it should happen, it won't affect you. As a matter of fact, if you plan for the worst and hope for the best, if it does happen, or if it doesn't happen, you're still better off from it. And if it does happen, still, we had power agents after the settlement, their commissions went up. Listen to me. When the settlement happened and Catchmark was trying to get our commission fees, or we call it now professional fees, lowered, a lot of my power agents, their professional fees went up after the settlement. So there you go. All right, with that said, let me share with you, just so people understand, if there's a recession, how could it impact us? All right, so let's take a look at this. So first of all, existing home sales volume could fall 15 to 25% in a mild recession. So that's sales volume, right? So sales volume can go down. Now, if sales volume goes down, listen to me, when sales volume goes down in our industry, like if it's like this, and then it goes down like this, and the agent count doesn't change, what happens? Well, it's going to be like musical chairs. You know, when the music stops, somebody won't have a chair. So the agents that didn't plan, when there's a shrinkage in sales, their income is going to go down because their sales are going to go down and maybe put them out of real estate. So sales could go down in a recession. Home prices, now here's the interesting thing. They would go flat or maybe still go up a little bit in a recession. So, but that doesn't matter for us. It matters for buyers. It makes it harder for buyers. And by the way, you think about it. If there's a recession where things are more costly and real estate doesn't go down and maybe even goes up a little bit, well, now that hurts the buyers' insecurity about the recession. They pull back. Again, that causes the shrinkage in sales. Days on market could increase because there'll be fewer buyers out there. And this is what's really important. We're going to talk about this later. See, for the past several years, we haven't need to worry about or be concerned about price reduction conversations with homeowners. You know, for the past several years, you didn't even have to be a skilled agent in presenting price to a homeowner. You know, you could take an overpriced listing because you're not skilled to communicate the real value of what it is. You know, homeowner says, you think the house is worth 500, homeowner says, I want 550. And in the past couple of years, you could say, all right, I'll take it. And the market would appreciate up to that 550 and pretty quickly. So my point is, you didn't need skill to present price. You didn't need skill to talk about days on market and getting longer listings. Now, in a recession, it's no more 90-day listings. Now you've got to look at 4, 5, 6 month listings to protect yourself. You've got to be good at communicating value and price to the homeowner who thinks their house is special. So there's certain skill sets you're going to need in a recession market. So we said that. Here's the next thing, is mortgage rates could decline, right? So mortgage rates could, so the Fed may lower rates in a recession, but banks may get tighter in giving out money. So because they're concerned, you see. So it'll be harder to get loans even though interest rates have come down. Buyer sentiment, now this is the real scary thing. Confidence drops. That 70% of Americans fear a housing crash right now. That is an NAR study that was done just recently. So we're not talking about a recession. We're talking right now. 70% of the buyers that were surveyed are worried about a real estate crash. That's not good for us, because when a buyer is afraid like that, they don't pull the trigger. They take themselves out of the market. So if we have 70% of the buyers feeling the fear now, and then we go into a recession, well, that's going to push them over the edge, and they're going to really pull back. New construction, that has been a problem for a while now. We're going to see less inventory, even more in especially with tariffs.